For today's video essay, I will be looking at the article called AR Contact Lenses Place Microdisplays Inside Your Eyes. And to summarize this article quickly, it focuses on the company called Mojo Vision and how this company has created smart contact lenses. And they did this using augmented reality to give information to the person wearing these contact lenses through their eyes, and it's considered to be the first step in delivering invisible computing to the world. And recently, Mojo Vision has partnered with the Vista Center for the Blind and Visually Impaired. So something that I gathered from reading this article is that these smart contact lenses would help the blind and visually impaired with their normal daily lives and kind of help them like function at a more, I guess, normal rate like people who can see do, because they would have these contact lenses that would, help them essentially function and just kind of navigate through their lives in a simpler and easier way. And so for this video essay, I'm going to be discussing what transhumanists and bioconservatives would think about having smart contact lenses. So first, I would like to begin by defining both transhumanists and bioconservatives. So transhumanists, like Nick Bostrom, are people who believe that humans have a moral obligation to use technology to overcome biologically imposed limitations. And bioconservatives, like Michael Sandel, are people who kind of oppose this and believe that there are and there should be moral limits that humans shouldn't cross, even if we have the technological means of doing so. So for smart contact lenses, I believe that Bostrom, who is a transhumanist, would support the use of them because, as he mentioned, one of the specific ways that he thinks we should be allowed to alter ourselves is if we can use it to extend our physical and mental capacities, and smart contact lenses would allow us to do that. And additionally, transhumanists believe and argue for the right to an open future concept, which says that parents have a moral obligation to raise children with as many future options as possible. So by creating these smart contact lenses and using them, parents would be able to essentially help their children who are blind or visually impaired by opening up their future options a little bit more, because they would have this additional kind of crutch or support that would help them, not necessarily see better, because that wouldn't really work, but they'd be able to kind of live better and live easier and be able to navigate as people who can see do on a normal basis. And in the opposite side, Sandel and other bioconservatives would argue that human life could essentially end up losing some of its meaning if we were to have more control over our futures. So if we were able to kind of control whether, like, this crutch that we have, and if somebody was to be born blind, then bioconservatives like Sandel believe that they should be grateful for the way that they were born instead of trying to fix it with things like smart contact lenses or other bodily modifications. Because if we used smart contact lenses, we would just be kind of taking more control, and that would end up making us lose meaning of life. And parents would also be less open to the unbidden or the unknown, because they would know that such things like smart contact lenses exist, and they would want to obviously give their child better future options, like the right to an open future says. So if things were available for children like smart contact lenses, then of course most parents would want to go out and try to get that for their children. So I think in this case, the use of smart contact lenses won't necessarily be a bad thing, because as transhumanists argue with the right to an open future, it would definitely open up a bunch of possibilities for people who are blind or visually impaired. But there is, on the other hand, the argument that would we be losing some meaning of life if we were able to control or have more control over things like this. So that's just something to think about, and a way to argue for both sides Thank you.